So I'm given the cost function, I'm given the revenue function, and the question asks me what's the average profit, and the profit function is not given, and it asks me for the average profit. So just a quick note, profit is what's left over after your costs and how much you take in. So the profit is going to equal however much money you take in from selling something minus however much it cost you to make it. Average profit is per unit, so however many units you make, so you have to divide that by X. So they want me to find out the average profit, and notice it says rate, so that's a derivative, average profit when it's 256 belts. So I have to find the revenue, the profit, the revenue, the cost, subtract them, and then divide it by X. So my revenue is 41X to the 6/7. Minus my cost. I love how they give it to me in reverse order. So I have to subtract the whole thing. And I'm going to divide that by X. I'm going to take the derivative of that. Evaluated at X equals, I believe it was 256 belts. And that's what I have to type into the calculator. Let's be careful. So I'm going to hit shift derivative on fraction bar. 41 alpha red X to the 6 divided by 7 minus, I have to bring it down here, it has to be down there, minus parentheses 977 plus 12 alpha red X minus 0.078 alpha red X squared, close parentheses, down arrow, over X, alpha red X, right arrow, at 256. It's thinking 0.217 if I round it to 3 decimal places. Round it to 4 decimal places. 2168. 0.2168 dollars per belt. And that has to be, make sense, not belts per dollar. Number 18 and 19 are derivative problems. So they ask you to find the derivative of a radical, and they ask you to find the derivative of a quantity raised to a power. So for 18, there's a move for this. The derivative, dy dx, is going to equal a fraction bar. And there's a hidden 2 in that index. And that 2 goes down on the bottom. And then you just copy whatever that is down. -7 plus 9x. So we're almost done. All we need now is what to put on the top. And what we put on top is the derivative of the guts. And this is the chain rule. This is technically a chain rule problem. So the derivative of -7 plus 9x is just 9. And that's my derivative. Now, a chain rule to a power, we're going to use the power rule on the outside, and then we're going to multiply it by the derivative of the guts. So the derivative, or y prime, I can either do dy dx or y prime, equals -15 times the front, so it's -15, and then just copy down the quantity. Now I have the -1 from that exponent, so it's going to be to the -14th, and now I have to come back and take the derivative of the guts. So what's the derivative of 3x squared minus 10? So that's just going to be 6x. So 3 times 2 is 6, x when I subtract the 1, and the derivative of -10 is 0, so it's just 6x at the tail end, and that's your answer. Number 20 is going to be a product rule. I'm going to crack it down the middle like an egg. And I'm going to label the front term U and the back term V. So it's going to be a product rule with a nested chain rule. So my U value equals X. My V value equals the quantity X cubed plus 3 to the 5th. Now my DU equals 1. The derivative of X is 1. My DV is going to be 5 times X cubed. I keep that the same, plus 3. Minus 1 from the exponent to the 4th, then I have to come back and take the derivative of these guts. So the derivative of x cubed plus 3 is just 3x squared. My product rule says that I have to do u dv plus v du. So u times this monster is going to be x times 5 times x cubed plus 3 to the 4th times 3x squared plus v du. X cubed plus 3 to the 5th times 1. I'm sure you could simplify that, but we don't have to. Number 21 is a radical, but not a square root. So there's no short move on this. We actually have to rewrite it. So for 21, I'm going to rewrite that instead of the 4th root. I'm going to rewrite that as a quantity, x cubed minus 3x to the 1/4 power. And now I'm going to use the power rule. So 1/4 times the front out front is 1. So that's going to be 1/4 times 1 is 1/4. Just copy this down, x cubed minus 3x. I have to subtract 1 from the exponent. So 1/4 minus 4/4 is -3/4. Then I have to come back and take the derivative of these guts. The derivative of x cubed minus 3x, using the power rule, is going to be 3x squared minus 3. And that's my answer to number 21. Again, you could probably simplify it, but we don't have to. 22 is another chain rule. So I'm going to do the 26 times the front, which is just a 1. So 26 times, you leave this the same. Just copy that interior down, minus 3x cubed plus 2. Don't forget to subtract 1 from 26. So that's to the 25th. Now I have to come back and take the derivative of the guts. So the derivative of 2x to the 6th is 12x to the 5th minus 9x squared. And the derivative of 2 is 0. So that's it. That's my answer to number 22. Number 23. Second derivative. Second derivative. So it has a little 2 there. That means I'm going to take the first derivative and take the derivative of that. So the derivative of 2t squared is 4t plus 8. Now I'm going to take the derivative of that. That would be the second derivative. And that would just be 4. They're okay. Another second derivative. This time it's a radical function, so I'm going to have to rewrite it. Notice, this is not the derivative. This is just me rewriting it so I can take the derivative. I'm going to rewrite it as the 6th root of x as x to the 1/6. So the first derivative, y prime, is going to equal 1/6 x, and then I have to subtract 1 from the exponent. That's going to give me negative 5/6. And that's my first derivative. Now I'm going to take the derivative of this, and that would be my second derivative. So 5/6 times 1/6, negative 5/6 times 1/6 is going to give me negative 5 over 36. X, I have to subtract 1 again. That's going to be to the negative 11/6. Notice, this here I keep the denominator the same, but when I multiply, the denominator gets multiplied. So there's my second derivative for number 24. Number 25. So it already has the fractions as the exponents, so I have to take the derivative. I don't have to rewrite it, I just have to start taking the derivative. So y prime, that's the first derivative I'm going to take. 5/4 times 4, well, 4 times the top 5 is 20. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. So that's going to equal 5x, and then I have to subtract 4/4. 5/4 minus 4/4 is 1/4. So that's the first derivative of the first term. The derivative of the second term, minus 9/5. 9/5, or 9 times 1/5 is 9/5. X, and then we'll subtract 1. Over here I subtracted 1, written as 4/4. And 5/4 minus 4/4, that's what equals 1/4. Now I'm going to subtract 5/5. So 1/5 minus 5/5 equals negative 4/5. Now that's only the first derivative. They want me to take the second derivative. So I have 2 hash marks there. That means I take the second derivative. Well, the derivative of 5x to the 1/4, 5 times 1/4 is just 5/4, so nothing simplifies. X, don't forget I have to subtract 1, so that's going to be to the negative 3/4. Now, negative 4/5 times negative 9/5 is going to give me positive 36 over 25x. Come back and subtract 1, rewritten as 5 over 5. That's going to give me to the negative 9/5. So for 25, that's my second derivative. Second derivative of the quotient rule. So I have a high of 3x plus 4. I have a low of 2x minus 5. My d high is going to be 3. My d low is going to equal 2. So now, because I have to take the derivative of the answer, I'm actually going to simplify it as I work on it. So my low, d high, that's going to be 2x times 3. I'm going to write it out. So it's going to be 2x minus 5 times 3. I'm going to distribute that 3 when I'm done. Minus high, d low, that's going to give me 3x plus 4 times 2. And I'm going to distribute that and simplify it. I draw the line, and then I square the low. So I have to wrap it and square it. Now I'm going to simplify this numerator. When I do that, that's going to give me 3 times 2x is 6x minus 15. Distribute the 2 and the negative. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6x. Distribute the 2 and the negative, so that's going to be minus 8. All over 2x minus 5, the quantity, squared. I'm continuing to simplify. Number 26, continuing to simplify. So 6x minus 6x eliminates. Negative 15 minus 8 is negative 23. So that's going to give me negative 23 over 2x minus 5 squared. Now I want to take the derivative of this, because this is just the first derivative simplified. I'm going to rewrite this as negative 23 times the quantity 2x minus 5. And when I bring them up from the denominator into the numerator, I switch the exponent to a negative 2. And now I'm just going to use the general power rule and take the derivative of that. So negative 2 times negative 23 is positive 46 times 2x minus 5, subtract 1. That's going to be minus 3. Now I have to recall to come back and take the derivative of the guts. The derivative of 2x minus 5 is just 2. And I can leave that as my second derivative as my answer. I don't have to multiply the 2 times the 46 if I don't want to. (27). They want me to take the derivative and substitute in a 3. Then they want me to take the second derivative and substitute in a 3 also. I'm going to do this one by hand first, and then I'll show you how to use the calculator. So the derivative, s prime of t equals 9t squared minus 2t plus 9. Now I have to evaluate that at t equals 3. So that's going to give me 9 times 3 squared minus 2 times 3 plus 9. and that's going to give me 84. So s prime of 3 is 84. Now I can do that totally on the calculator. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit my derivative button. I'm going to type in 3, I don't have a t, so I have to alpha red x cubed, right arrow, bring it down, minus alpha red x squared, plus 9 alpha red x minus 6, evaluated at t, or x equals that number 3, hit equals, and the slope at 3 is 84. Now, in order to do the second part, the second derivative of 3, I would have to take the derivative of this. But since I already have that, what I want to do is type that in and take the derivative of that at t equals 3. So here we go. I'm going to hit the derivative button. Type in 9, which is the derivative. This is only the first derivative. The calculator is going to take the second derivative. Alpha red x squared minus 2 alpha red x plus 9, also evaluated at 3. Had an extra parenthesis in there by accident, and that's going to give me 52. Now, if I want to do that by hand, what I would do is I would take the second derivative. So the second derivative equals 18t minus 2, and I'm going to evaluate that also at 3, and I'm going to throw the 3 in there. 3 times 18 minus 2. So 3 times 18, that equals 54. And it matches up with the calculator answer.